Hey guys, it's that time. It's time for Bollocks this evening. It's Thursday. It's our last evening show of the week. Woo-hoo. We have a very special guest in studio, producer slash director. Blake likes to be director producer, so that makes you producer slash director at
That'll
this point.
work. I'll do that.
So Lenny always in studio, bringing all the knowledge. You know, the Ivy Leaguer himself.
I don't know it. I'll make it up.
We're just. That's what I think. I'm just going to change your name to the Ivy Leaguer.
Okay.
So not the Bush Leaguer.
No.
Completely different.
No. Yeah, and that would be the other side anyway.
Yep. So
I kind of like W.
We appreciate you guys being with us all week. We have some fun show. We have some fun guests next week. And in the morning show and in the evening show.
Looking forward to Wednesday.
So we're real excited about next week. Yeah, I'm looking forward to Irving called and said, well, which wines do you like? So I'm sorry if you don't like the same wines as me, because he called me, he didn't call you. So,
well, next time he'll call me.
Yeah.
I'll make sure of that.
Yeah.
I'm so bummed you guys are doing this when I'm out of town.
Yeah.
Because we could have given Blake movie money.
Well,
I know, right?
And Irving goes, you want to do it in the morning or the? I was like, I got to go to work at my other job, so we're going to do it in the evening. And he was
don't be cutting me out of this.
Completely good with that.
I'm a train autophile.
All right. Well, first thing we got to do, we are here in the Bozard Ford Studios, and we got to talk about how amazing Bozard Ford Lincoln in St. Augustine. Their goal is to make sure your time and experience buying a car is stress-free, full, fun, and enjoyable. Bozard is a family-owned Ford dealership that has been in business since 1949. Bozard Ford Lincoln has been the recipient of numerous, it's
more
all
than
of
one.
the things.
Yeah.
More than one.
Numerous dealer awards, including being ranked #1 automotive dealership in the nation by Dealer Rating. Bozard Ford also has won back-to-back President's Awards, which is the highest honor given by Ford Motor Company. Check them out today online at bozardford.com.
Anastasia Construction and Shotgun Plumbing. When it comes to plumbing and construction in North Florida, trust the experts at Anastasia Construction and Shotgun Plumbing. Whether it's residential or commercial, service, repair, or new installation, they do it all, and we do it right the first time. I guess they do it right the first time. I'm not getting under a sink. Owner and master plumber Michael Silverio is licensed, insured, and committed to quality. No surprise charges, no weekend or night up charges. Very nice. And we always call when we're 30 minutes out. Honest work, written estimates, and clean and professional service every time. Visit us today and make Shotgun Plumbing the only plumber you'll ever need.
All right. All right. Solar Stick. Solar Stick, established in 2006. Solar Stick is a local portable power company proudly committed to American manufacturing. Constant innovation and creative jobs right here in St. Augustine. Solar Stick's focus on providing solutions for self-sufficiency helps users all over the world complete missions and save lives. Solar Stick, changing lives, saving lives, and reviving American manufacturing.
Mm-hmm.
Eat, drink, and be Irish at Meehan's Irish Pub and Seafood House, right on the waterfront in downtown St. Augustine. Whether you're craving classic corned beef and cabbage, one of our presidents like that, fresh seafood from the Raw Bar, or famous bangers and mash, Meehan's is where locals and visitors feel right at home. Grab a pint in our cozy Irish pub, unwind upstairs at Johnny's Oyster Bar with stunning views of the Matanzas River, or kick back in the backyard with tropical vibes and a Caribbean-inspired menu. The pints are cold, the food's unforgettable, and the welcome is always warm, only at Meehan's.
All right. Amanda, this is your first time on the new format of Bollocks this evening.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we do.
Buckle up.
You have so much power as the producer director.
Okay.
Because you're not the director producer. That's
Yes.
Blake. Now
We
you're
clarified
the
that.
producer director.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to make sure I say it correctly every time, which I probably won't. So Lenny and I go back and forth with categories.
Okay.
You get to pick what we're going to talk about on today's show.
All right.
The second half of the show, we're going to do it like the old bollocks, the talks and tangents, and we're going to talk about presidents and their favorite foods.
Nice. Let's
All
do
right.
this.
All right. My first category is 3 wives. Lenny, what's yours?
I've got chimps drumming.
Chimps. That's it. Chimps drumming.
Well, there's a little bit more to it.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, there's more to the 3 wives too, I guess. And
Yeah,
I have Diddy.
I keep telling you, he did.
Diddy or didn't he?
He did.
Diddy.
I think we'll save Diddy. Let's
I don't
go.
know if anybody can save Diddy, honestly, Amanda. Not
Jesus.
at this point.
Only Jesus
Very
can
possibly.
save Diddy.
Yeah.
Go right to the big guy.
Let's do chimps drumming. Let's get this out of the way.
Chimps drumming.
Fine. I hope I didn't build it up way too much.
Oh, it's Congress.
No.
Isn't that what a bunch of chimps are called? A Congress?
Yes, it is a
Okay,
Congress.
all right, then. I
Yeah,
see.
you got
All right.
this.
All right.
Yeah, there is some rhythm to it, but not as much as the chimps. What scientists found over in Africa is that different troops of chimps drum rhythmically on trees and tree trunks.
Mm-hmm.
And they do it as a method of communication and long-distance communication to let other parts of their pack or troop know what's going on in the general vicinity.
They're Congress.
I don't know if they were voted
Collective
in.
nouns.
Right.
Fact check.
What's interesting, they found that 11 different chimp communities had similar rhythms to convey different rhythms for the same context. So there was communication between internal groups of chimps, and then they could go out to the various troops around Africa.
So are they the ba-da-da-dup bump or the dump da-da-dup dump?
I heard they
Dum,
were
dum.
playing it Sing Out Loud.
Yeah, they,
You know, look, there's a
it
band.
does sound like an indie band.
Well, there's a very good band
Well, there
called
is
Pigeons
one.
Playing Ping Pong, so why not chimps drumming? And that's what I'm
I
thinking.
do have a fact check. Chimpanzees collective noun is tribe or troop.
Tribe
That's
or
why I
troop.
threw the troop in there. Yeah.
So, well, we have a tribe.
Mhm.
What's a
We do.
Congress in?
I'm
The
looking
Congress of
What
it's a
group of
murder of
animals
crows.
is called a Congress?
for it. I'm looking for it.
Because I
I
think
used
it's
to know that.
I think
And
it's
it'll haunt me
something
in trivia on Tuesday if I don't know
silly
it now.
and ridiculous. So, all right. So what they discovered?
Baboons.
What?
Oh, well.
Baboons.
All
Different
so-
primate.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a
Different-
chimp
not chimps,
adjacent.
They're baboons. Yeah. Okay. All right. So I
Shiny
wasn't.
red butts.
I wasn't too far off.
No,
Yeah.
you were still
I was drumming to a different.
jumping in
beat.
Africa.
I
Exactly.
was drumming to a different beat.
As you
That's
so
right.
often do.
So, were they calling in their other
They were
tribe mates?
No, it was just
Or troops?
long distance communication. So, if somebody was down the savannah, they'd be banging on trees to let them know what's going on.
Or
It's like,
warn
you've heard of the jungle telegraph?
yeah.
There you go.
Or warn them something bad coming their way.
Big white hunter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, have you seen the reel of the leopard that was going after the small chimp, and it might have been baboons. Sorry, I'm not familiar. I guess chimps don't.
Alleged primate.
Right. Something furry.
Chimps don't have tails, right?
Chimps do not. Yes.
Okay. All right. I'm pretty sure these were chimps.
Okay.
All right. And this leopard's going after the little one, and the leader of the tribe
Mhm.
or troop, like, hit this leopard head on, and all his lieutenants and everybody else just attacked this leopard. And it was like, this leopard's like, "Oop, I didn't mean that. My bad.
I'm gone.
Not this kind of heat.
My bad."
Chimps are ferocious.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
they are.
They are very ferocious.
They-
but like the leader
Teeth
saw
are sharp, too.
saw it happening,
Yeah.
and he literally hit this leopard head on, and he probably couldn't have taken the leopard by himself.
Not today, Sadie.
But all the other chimps just came in, and the lieutenants and whatever, I don't know the chimp ranking of the tribe.
So 100 chimps or one silverback gorilla?
100 chimps.
Chimps 100%.
100 chimps win all the time. And I did see a silverback gorilla on a reel today back down from one goose.
One goose.
So I'm
Okay.
truly
Silly
taking
goose.
I'm
So I'm going with the
truly-
100 guys now. I'm
truly
changing my
taking
vote.
on the 100
I'm
guys.
changing my vote.
They lost to a goose. He lost to a goose. So,
Hey, geese can be nasty too.
oh, geese are just
Geese
the
are
best
terrible.
watchdogs in the world. They are the best watchdogs in the world. Have as an animal trainer, I know you were more of an aquatic animal trainer. Did you do, because dolphins are brilliant, chimps are brilliant. Did you do a lot of cross, like, okay, if I could teach a chimp this, I probably can teach a dolphin this?
Well, there definitely is, on the research side, there is crossover or inspiration from one type of researcher to another. Like, okay, we found this in chimp populations. Let's look for it in other populations. It doesn't surprise me that they use the trees, though. When I was in Costa Rica, I did do some dolphin research down in Costa Rica, and they have howler monkeys down there. We went on a rainforest walk with a guide, and he let us know, like, this is, I think it was a banyan tree. Look for this kind of tree if you're ever lost in the jungle and you hit it with a stick and you can hear it forever. Yeah. It's kind of hollow, so it just projects that sound across the jungle. So it doesn't surprise me if we figured that out, that the monkeys figured that out also.
Of course, now I'm thinking about the opening to 2001: A Space Odyssey and the chimps and the bones. So I'm going to have to revisit that at some point in time when they were banging on everything too.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you my howler monkey, or the howling monkeys.
Howler monkeys.
Oh yeah. The howler monkeys were at the ruins, the pyramid ruins in Tulum, like in that park, and we're like, oh wow, they're pretty loud. And then all of a sudden,
right?
Yeah, I got hit with poo.
That's because they like you.
Be grateful, because they will throw other bodily fluids as well. So
it was poo. I'm pretty sure it wasn't a bird.
Yeah.
And because the angle it hit was more of a fling than a drop.
Oh yeah. How did you like that scream? That scream's intense.
It's intense. It is intense for sure.
So I was told when we were going to Costa Rica that there will be monkeys, and it's howler monkeys. And I just kind of think, okay, we're going to see monkeys called howler monkeys, and I don't think about the sound. And so I find out that they're howler monkeys because of how they howl when I'm down there and two males have a territorial dispute and I'm alone.
Oh.
And I just start hearing this sound like two demons are warring over the entrance into hell.
Ours wasn't that intense.
It was terrifying.
Yeah. Ours was not in that intense.
But
it was still loud.
Oh yeah, it'll scare the pants off you.
Yeah, it was really loud. Well, I had to get a washcloth.
Of course you did.
All right. So the two I had was 3 wives. You get to add a new one in.
State rankings.
And Diddy.
All right, I'm going 3 wives because that seems like a good intro to Diddy.
It is a very good intro, and that's why these two are in the same grouping.
All right.
A gentleman by the name of Henry Betsy Jr.
What is it with Henry's?
Henry Betsy Jr.
Betsy.
Okay.
All right. Henry met this young lady online. They were together for about 3 weeks, and they got married.
Henry was smitten.
Problem was, Henry was already married to a woman named Melissa that he met online, and he got married very quickly. The problem with that was Henry was already married to another woman. By the way, guess which state this took place in?
Florida?
Of course it's Florida.
Burn it every time.
Of course it's Florida.
It's always Florida with Pete Melton.
It's always
That's a new event, Pete.
All right. But how Henry did it is it doesn't go statewide with your marriage license. It's by county by county.
Okay.
He got married in 3 different counties to 3 different women. And it wasn't until the first woman kind of started suspecting something, and she started looking up his name in different counties, and that's when she found the 3rd wife, and then she discovered the second wife.
Wow.
So wife 1 discovered the 3rd wife. Third wife, they literally got married after 3 weeks, and it was an online like going back and forth.
Yeah, did they do any of this? Did Henry do any of this in real life?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, he met the woman online. Did he marry her?
Oh yeah, no. They definitely
no.
He was living in 3 different households.
Okay. He just made the connection.
So there was married consummation.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. We'll presume.
No, they went to the courthouse together.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that they were doing the bumping the uglies.
So let me ask you a question. Yes. Yeah. Okay. So did he upgrade from being a bigamist to being a trigamist?
I think it's still bigam.
I think it's polygamist.
Polygamist.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's polygamous at that point.
Okay, yeah. Well, okay. So then Utah could have been the runner-up state,
Yeah, yeah. So
which will
Henry,
be surprising if we do states.
Henry, I guess thought he was in Utah in the
Could be.
mid 1800s. So, but yeah, Henry, he got around the system.
Yeah.
3 different counties. I don't know if he actually knew it or if he just got lucky with that portion of it.
He was getting lucky all over the place. Poor Henry.
And he's having to serve some time now.
All right.
Serving time.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I thought having 3 wives would be punishment enough, but
Evidently not.
I'm just
Is he
thinking
addicted to like paying alimony?
Yeah, right now he is. He wasn't at the time because he kept them
I think
all.
it was the other way around.
Oh, yeah?
It was where he was going after. He was.
Dude.
I think he was addicted to trying getting some.
Any dude tries to marry you after 3 weeks, sign that prenup. Make him sign that prenup.
Oh,
You
yeah.
just tap out.
Yeah. Right.
You just tap out.
And get health records.
There's something not going on right. So
I'm just wondering how much mileage this guy put on his car.
yeah. So
3 women, 3 different counties. He's
How bad would
driving
it
all
be
the
if
place.
he was borrowing their cars?
well, in the story I saw, in the video I saw, it's a Gaston County. It talked about 3 different counties, and none of them were St. Johns County. But in the video itself, it said St. John's.
Okay.
So I don't know if that was
City
one of their
or
legal,
county?
one of the women's legal residents, or if it was his, because it just flashed up, and I said, "That's in St. John's." So
Now everybody's trying to figure out if they know somebody named Henry.
Henry Betsy Jr. He might have another one out there.
Is he overcompensating with that middle name? Is
I
that what
guess
it
so.
is? I'm a real man.
I don't know. I don't know if he shortened it from Elizabeth, but
I have an Elizabeth.
so
All right. So we've got states and Diddy left.
okay, we have you have states.
Mm-hmm.
I have Diddy. Now you get to add another one in.
Kids' names.
Kids' names.
Kid's name.
All right. It doesn't really fit in with the Diddy thing.
No, but
Should've started with that one.
we don't know whether or not Henry was propagating, so we'll find out.
Yeah. They're all named Henry.
Henry the first, second, third, all the
Henry,
Yeah.
Hank.
George Foreman started a trend.
way. Let's go with states.
Okay.
States.
Well, U.S. News and World Report came out with their new state rankings for the 50 states in the country, and there's some interesting stuff. Florida can be very proud of the fact that they have the #1 economy in the country,
Boop, boop.
and sadly, they dropped in education from #1 to #2. I think we'll accept that.
All right.
I think we can
we'll
accept that.
I mean,
Absolutely.
top
we
three's
used
not
to
bad.
we used
No,
to
it
say
was-
we used to say thank God for Mississippi.
Yeah.
So I'm good with
Yeah.
1 and 2.
You can still say that, but you got to be kind of poor Alaska. But in honor of our dear friend Pete Melfi, you know what the #1 state in the country is?
Utah.
Utah.
Utah's always the #1
Utah,
state.
absolutely.
And any of these rankings, Utah, because you can say what you want about the Mormons, but they're pretty nice people.
They're
They
friendly
are.
people, and they're hardworking.
Pretty nice people.
And it's a
They
very
work hard.
business-forward state, too.
Well, and if you ever run out of food, go to a Mormon's house.
They'll feed
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have food banks inside their house, like the size of your garage.
Part of what they're taught
1
for
year,
good
right.
stewardship is a whole year for everyone in the family.
Yeah.
Food prep.
That's
yeah.
one big-ass pantry.
That's what I'm saying. No,
Yeah.
it's like an entire. It's either a room or a garage,
Yeah.
and it's some of
Like
it
freeze-dried
actually
food and
freeze-dried and some of
Jars
it's
and all kinds of stuff.
yeah.
All right. If things start getting hairy, I'm
And-
moving to Utah for the end of the world.
No,
At
no,
least I'll
that's-
eat well.
That's not a bad move.
No, I'm
Yeah.
thinking.
I mean,
Plus, you know what? There's some
You
beautiful
think they
parts
can
of
move
Utah.
it closer? Because I mean, that's
Yeah, well,
that's a little bit of a hike.
I think
Knock on
so.
the door of Jesus Christ Latter-day Saints temples.
Yeah.
There you
I don't
go.
know if the Campulence is making that one. So,
You know, but part of Utah, I mean, Cedar City is gorgeous, and you've got a lot of nice parks out there. But Cedar City, and you get up into the trees in Utah, it's beautiful country.
Yeah.
It really is.
no, I've only been to what's the one on the south, St. George.
St. George, yeah.
Is that what it's
Mhm.
called? St. George. I've only been to that city. That's my only city I've been in Utah. I can technically say I've been to Utah,
Mhm.
but I really haven't been to. I was barely in
Yeah.
Utah. So I did carry the torch for the Salt Lake City
Okay.
Olympics.
Yeah.
There you go.
So,
Very nice.
Right.
but I've never been to Salt Lake City.
Yeah, I've been to Salt Lake City.
I flew over it.
Had an interesting experience there, and that was the last time I was on snow skis. It was in 1984 in Alta and
weeks ago.
Snowbird. Yeah,
It's a couple weeks
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah.
I was very comfortable knowing that I have no need for speed.
41 years ago. How old were you, ma'am?
I was 2.
Oops. I had graduated college by then. Holy cow.
So
What's weird is they allowed polygamous marriages in the Mormon church because it was legal to kill Mormons in this country.
Yeah.
Until in some places until the 70s.
That's why they had to go.
So they allowed
Missouri was big on that,
the multiple marriages because so many husbands had left widows and children that were uncared for.
Yeah.
And so they allowed men to take multiple wives so that they could provide for the women and the children, not just the procreation, but to feed the women and the children that were left without a provider because women couldn't work at the same rates and earn the same amount at that time.
Certainly not.
And so it was a protection for the widows and the orphan or the partial orphans, I guess.
You know, it's just another ugly chapter in American history. We have so many that we have come past, fortunately, to a large degree, and still some percolating out there. But to make it, that it was legal to be able to kill somebody because of their religion in the United States up until the 70s, but even in the 1850s and 60s when they were starting to head out west. So it's nuts.
Well, that's why they ended up in Utah is because they kept having to leave the country.
Right.
And the country eventually caught up with them, but they kept, you can watch the trail of the Mormons and it's always leave the country.
I think it was state by state. I don't think that
it
law
wasn't,
was,
it wasn't
I don't
federal.
think that law was a national law.
No,
it wasn't. It was state.
Federal government wasn't that strong at the time.
I think Illinois, Missouri, that Kansas.
I think Missouri was the last to repeal it.
Yeah.
I think 74 was when they were the last ones to overturn it.
That's where their destination of where they took off from.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think that's where they killed Joseph Smith was in Missouri, and Brigham said, "Let's get the hell out of here."
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Steve's great granddad.
Steve Smith?
Steve Young.
Steve Young. Oh yeah.
Brigham. Yeah.
I'm gonna leave that one alone too. Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, I Dennis Millered you. My bad.
Okay.
It's a sports reference.
It's fine.
It is his great grandfather is Brigham Young.
Okay.
And he went to
Brigham Young.
Yes.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Since we're talking about Mormons, should we move into kids' names?
Sure.
There you go.
All right. We have kids named Diddy in U.S. and Iran. But we're going kids names. Kids names.
It'll be brief.
All right.
Okay. So for the second year in a row, actually for the 8th year in a row, the first choice of a boy's name is Liam.
Liam. Okay.
And a girl's name for the 6th year in a row is Olivia.
Olivia. Okay.
And then in your top 10 for boys, you've got Noah, Oliver, and I just had a friend who just had their first child, and they named him Oliver. Oliver James Tuffery, Theodore, James, Henry, Mateo, Elijah, Lucas, and William. And I learned something yesterday that Calvin Coolidge's first name was John, and he dropped the John for Calvin.
All right.
Yeah.
JCC.
Yeah.
Well, he saw Back to the Future.
Exactly. In girls' name, you had Olivia 6 years running, Emma, Amelia, Charlotte, Mia, Sophia, Isabella, Evelyn, Ava, and Sophia.
You said Sophia twice.
Ooh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. So we got two of them. Maybe Sophia.
Who said Sophia?
Spelled two ways.
It is spelled the exact same way.
I have it written down twice too.
Lee, I know how to cheat on a test.
Maybe he just misspelled one of them. It was supposed to be with an F, and the other one is P.
Maybe that's what it was.
All I know is that
was Sophia. Right.
Well, the last Sophia,
The
last Sophia knocked poor Luna out of the top 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Luna's a dog name. It's not a human name. You crossed over your dog's names with.
Thank J.K. Rowling for that. Luna Lovegood, Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
That name? A lot of the interesting names on the list right now are because inspiration from Harry Potter.
Yeah.
And young adult fiction. Isabella made the list because of Twilight series.
Okay. Yeah.
Which I fell in love with that name because of a movie that I enjoyed and the character that was called Issa, and I thought that was beautiful. Yeah. And then Twilight came out the year I was pregnant, and so I named her for a movie that I had seen years before, and everyone's like, "Oh, do you call her Bella?" And I was like, "No, get away from me. I hate that movie. I hate that book."
We did dog names. Bella's one of the big dog names. And the name Wendy came from Peter Pan.
Sure.
Yeah.
Peter Pan. It was never in any written form before Peter Pan.
Yeah.
Oh,
and then
really?
the name became super popular.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So, all right. I have Diddy, U.S. and Iran, and what you got? Are you out?
I could be out because we got 6 minutes before we get
I can throw Preakness in there. That was like a bonus one if we got to it.
I'm torn between Diddy and U.S. Iran, sorta.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
given
leaning
the sorta
towards
yet.
Diddy.
You
I'm leaning towards
Well, that's
Diddy.
You started with that.
No, I didn't say sort of on air. I said it before the show.
You never give me the list. I need the list of words.
That was the tease.
See,
Sorta.
well, you know.
Diddy. We're going Diddy.
Thank you very much.
Save the Ivy Leaguer.
Thank you, Amanda.
You actually are blending in with your shirt right now.
You're a little pink.
All right.
I like
Diddy.
pink.
Oh, Diddy's in trouble.
Oh, yeah.
Diddy's in a lot of trouble.
Oh, yeah.
But what I saw today, I found very, very interesting. I didn't know it existed, but it's been around evidently since the 80s. Underneath Diddy's house, there's a series of tunnels. All right. Supposedly, one of the tunnels went to the Playboy Mansion. Supposedly, one of the tunnels went to Michael Jackson's old house. And one of the tunnels went to Jack Nicholson's house. It was a series, and there's videos out there and all this stuff of the different tunnel systems that was there. That way, all these people can move from place to place in these mansions in LA without having to deal with the paparazzi, without having to deal with all that. What I heard is they've been closed down since the 80s.
Okay.
But when they did the tour, you can see there's stuff newer than the 80s down in these tunnels. So if you get a chance, not in the next 35 minutes,
Okay.
if you get a chance, go to YouTube
Yeah.
and Google Diddy tunnels. And are you on it right now?
I'm looking on it. It's looking like there were fabricated videos, AI fabricated videos.
Okay.
And the fact checkers, for what we believe in them, they say that it was a fake CNN broadcast screenshot claiming that the tunnels were
But
discovered.
there was multiple ones.
That there's no evidence swimming,
Oh, that's
underwater swimming tunnel. Let's see. Yeah.
I don't
Conclusion,
understand
claim
how
about-
I did see the underwater one. I was like, okay, that one doesn't
Claim
make
about
sense to me.
Right
secret
into the
underground
Playboy
tunnels
Grotto.
at Diddy's
Yeah.
mansion, including one connecting to the Playboy Mansion, is unsubstantiated and has been debunked by multiple sources. And rumor was likely fueled by a fabricated CNN screenshot and amplified by ongoing legal issues around Diddy.
Well, that's not as much
beware
fun.
of AI, guys. I'm sorry.
well, and in reality, how close were these three mansions to each other?
I don't even know.
I don't know.
That's a lot of digging.
like-
That's a lot of digging with a teaspoon.
I don't know. I've seen Shawshank Redemption. You can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, just call Elon. He's got
They
his
actually-
boring country.
They actually had workers and stuff.
Yeah,
They
right.
they weren't doing it with a pick.
People with
hammer.
money have
but,
workers.
But then was
Yeah.
it like in the olden
They
days,
have
like
people
you
for
know, when the kings in the Middle Ages or in Greece and Italy, you know, when they have them build stuff, then they would, you know, either blind them or kill them so they couldn't reveal it or do it for anybody else.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
And that was like in St. Mark's Square, that beautiful clock there.
Mm-hmm.
Man, they blinded the guys that did it so they couldn't do it again.
my friend in El Paso says they pretty much discover a tunnel on a regular basis, like once
under the border.
once a
Under the
month,
border?
once a
Yeah,
month.
yeah.
You know, and it'll pop up just in just a random house.
Yeah.
So
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I think isn't that how they caught Chapo one time?
Yeah.
In the tunnel, yeah. But that was getting out of prison.
Oh, was it getting out of prison?
I think he tunneled his way out of
Yeah.
prison one
Yeah.
time.
Saw
Yeah.
Shawshank.
Saw Shawshank.
I finally saw that, by the way. Took
Yeah.
me years. I think I saw it last year for the first time. It was
We
very
talked
good.
about that forever ago.
Andy
Okay.
Dufresne?
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Good job, Andy.
Yeah, he didn't become a criminal until he went in.
That's true.
All right. I have U.S. and Iran. Now you can say it.
Sort of.
There you go.
Thanks.
Sort of. Sort of.
I'm intrigued.
All right. U.S. and Iran. Sort of. So, President Trump is out there and he makes an announcement. Oh, we're talking to Iran. It's moving really good. We're talking nuclear talks and we've come to an agreement. And then he says, sort of. So I don't think that's an agreement.
I don't know that that's a buildup you're trying to do.
Yeah. So he actually used the word sort of. But I think they are getting closer.
Yeah.
Sort of. But I just found it very interesting that that's the term before he went to Abu Dhabi to check on his plane.
Right.
He was
Which, by the way, is in San Antonio.
Is that where it is now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's been in San Antonio for a while. Yeah.
Okay. That cheap little plane, $400 million.
Yeah.
So
It's got 9 bathrooms.
I still don't understand why we buy a $400 million plane that we have to completely strip and then spend another $700 million on it.
And then what are you going to do with the 2 planes that may eventually, please, dear God, get delivered from Boeing?
But it is
somewhere
government.
between now and
It is
2027.
It is government, so we should not be shocked by that.
Right.
No.
So we should not be shocked by that.
Got that plane has 9 bathrooms, 1 with a bidet at least, a bedroom that's
I get
bigger
the
than a-
bidet though because I got a bidet toilet seat for Christmas
Sort of.
over a year ago, and that thing will spoil you. Oh, that's nice.
Okay, clean.
Yeah, get yourself a bidet.
Cleans your eyelids.
It's good stuff. Yep. Make sure everything's nice and spick and span.
All right. Bobby just said Geraldo Rivera headed to investigate the tunnels, like Capone's vault. I can tell you this: when we do remodel the Treasury, I was doing the original architecture and stuff like that of the drawings from 1925.
Nice.
The building was in 27. There's a basement that has been blocked off, I think, since the 50s.
Yeah.
They took the boiler out. I think the boiler still might be there. The boiler's disconnected for sure.
Okay.
It's not holding any water because I think we would smell it. But there is a basement, about 1,000 square foot basement inside the Treasury underneath it. And I can't wait till we do the renovation. That will be a 904 Now exclusive.
Yeah, baby.
When we get
A live remote?
live remote.
Nice.
And I don't care if it is Geraldo's. I don't care if nothing's in there. It's still going to be freaking cool. But I did not know it existed. We actually had a basement underneath the tallest building.
I am
St. Augustine.
shocked by the number of basements in this city.
And it's ballsy with the water table.
Yeah, well, the streets flood all the time, and yet we have basements. Trinity Parish has a basement.
Yeah.
Marineland had a basement. It was a fallout shelter. I wanted to take one of those fallout shelter signs before they demoed the building, but my coworker got the close one, so I would have had to wade in disgusting water, like up to my chest.
Wetsuit.
You should have called me. I did not. know.
It's
I didn't know that.
nasty. I didn't know you then.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
Well,
wanted one of those
you're
signs.
floating around in Rock
That's
Creek
cool.
Park.
Yeah, no, I'd have definitely done it.
Yeah.
You know, there's a tunnel, or there used to be. It's blocked off now, but there was a tunnel from the Ponce to the Alcazar.
Yes.
That makes sense.
Yes.
And then there was a bridge across the
There was
street.
the airwalk, yeah.
Yeah, bridge across the street from the Alcazar to
Leitner.
the Leitner is the Alcazar.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're attached, yeah.
And the Cordova, I think, is what Casamonica was
Yeah.
called.
Mhm.
And there was a bridge, and if you look on the east side of the Leitner now, you can see the outline of where
Yeah.
that bridge was at.
You can see the footprint on both buildings.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
So-
pretty cool.
I always wondered what that weird thing was on the Casamonica that was up there in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. So, but that was the bridge
Yeah.
that went across, and the old Florida house on Treasury. It was on both sides of Treasury. There was an air bridge across there too.
That's
So,
wild.
where the priest rectory is right now,
Okay.
and the parking lot for like Prohibition Kitchens.
Yeah.
That was the fire. The fire started at the Florida house at
Okay.
that hotel that burnt down the city in 1914, 1915.
You know
And
why?
yeah.
Because it was called the Florida House.
It's
It's always Florida.
It's always Florida. But that's when
Shameless plugs.
that's when the Opera House burnt down. It burnt down like
A lot of the city.
most of the
Yeah.
hotels here in the city. We have more hotel rooms in the 1890s than we do right now inside the city of St. Augustine. So, all right, it's time.
I'm a little peckish.
You're peckish?
Yeah, let's talk about some food.
Let's talk about some food. Then that'll make you more peckish.
True.
Here, in case you get overly peckish, Amanda will provide.
Thank you.
In case you get overly peckish. But we're talking about presidents and their favorite foods.
Oh, yeah.
So, want to start with number one?
I got them all. You pick a
You got
president.
every single one?
I do.
You
I do.
overachiever,
I do.
Ivy.
I do. I got every single one of them.
My Ivy Leaguer just showing me up as always.
Well,
I can talk about the first
I
president
got free time.
because I went to his house on his birthday and they were giving them out for free.
Oh, really?
Yes. So George Washington's favorite food was hoe cakes.
Correct mundo.
Hey, you already
Yeah.
eat.
And so now it sounds really bad. I took my kids and my husband to Mount Vernon. My husband actually shares a birthday with George Washington.
Oh, wow.
And so we
And
went
my
to his
mother.
house. Yeah.
Louis' birthday is February 22nd?
Yeah.
So was my mother's.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So we went to his house on his birthday, which was really cool because they had birthday balloons and flowers, and they gave hoe cakes to everyone that came to his house on his
Hoe
birthday.
cakes. And hoe cakes are kind of a version of a pancake.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
It's like forest food. Like he was a surveyor out in the woods and he was serving in the military out on location constantly. And so you can make them on a shovel over
That's
a
why they call them
campfire.
hoe. Right.
Yeah. So
Cook it on a hoe.
Oh, that's why.
back to P. Diddy.
Oh, that's why. That kind of hoe.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Wrong
All right.
kind of hoe.
Yeah.
Right.
I thought you were talking about
Spelled differently.
I thought you were
There's an E
talking
at the
about-
end of it.
Idaho. So,
Sure you were.
all right. Well, who do you have for number 2? I have number 3, but I don't have number 2. What do you have for 2?
For John Adams?
Yeah.
Well, he was big on New England boiled dinners, and he liked apple pan dowdy and codfish cakes.
Codfish
and
cakes.
he also did a shot of hard cider every day.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Of course he did.
And he was the first president to live in the White House. I also happen to have
Well, you know where he lived prior to living in the White House?
Massachusetts.
No, he lived in an apartment. He moved to D.C. He lived in an apartment above a tavern,
Okay.
waiting for the White House to be, and that was the presidential house.
Above a
waiting
tavern.
above a tavern
Right.
in D.C., waiting for it to be done.
You don't get bored at night. I also happen to have a copy of, Julie got me a very lovely gift one day of historical recipes. So I have with us tonight the transcript of George Washington's small beer recipe
Okay.
in his hand,
Lovely.
or legible.
Okay.
I've got
There's no way a millennial could read that. We have a chance.
It's millennial proof.
Yeah,
I can read it.
We have a chance.
I can read it. Zoomers can't read it.
Right.
Zoomers can't read
Yeah.
it. Okay.
Because it's in cursive.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You're one of those older millennials.
I am an elder millennial.
Transcript of Thomas Jefferson's ice cream recipe when we get to number 3. Who would be next?
Okay. I had Jefferson's as mac and cheese.
Correct.
Okay.
And
But,
French vanilla ice cream.
and then Madison fell in love with the ice cream that Jefferson brought
Right.
back.
Right.
And that was his favorite food.
And they served it at every event in the White House.
Yeah.
He
So
also liked ice cream and champagne. Who doesn't? Exactly.
Who doesn't?
Tasting Table has a different food for James Madison.
Virginia
What do they
ham,
have?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Virginia ham?
Yeah.
which, by
Okay.
the way, is a great drag name.
Oh.
Absolutely. One of the best. That one and Birth of a Nation.
Mm.
Yeah.
Bertha.
Bertha.
Of a Nation.
Yep.
Mhm.
All right. So what are the recipes you got? You got like,
I got Lady Bird Johnson's buttermilk pie recipe as well.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. What did you have for Lyndon Johnson's his
LBJ?
favorite food?
Okay. Barbecue. Don't be silly.
I had BBQ too.
He's barbecue, and he actually he pissed off Henry Haller, who was the White House chef. He was a Swiss trained chef.
Mm.
Excellent. And he kind of pissed him off because LBJ brought a pitmaster in from Texas.
Yeah.
So
Well, and he did-
never administrations.
He did love black eyed peas too. So, all right. What do you have jumping forward? Because some of the presidents. Do you have anything for? I'd like to hear what
I think we
got
Jacksonville.
I think we got an honorable mention Franklin Delano Roosevelt because in honor of Pete's prank with Mike Davis
Mhm.
and the grilled cheese sandwiches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Franklin Delano Roosevelt was in fact grilled cheese sandwiches.
He was.
Correct.
So
He
if he
was.
called you, he might be requesting you make him a grilled cheese sandwich.
Make sure you got those grilled cheese sandwiches.
And by the way,
And he loves scrambled eggs.
he couldn't fire the chef, who was a woman by the name of Henrietta Nesbitt,
Uh-huh.
because she was a friend of Eleanor's. And apparently she was a pretty
So,
lousy cook.
When you
So he couldn't fire her because
That's
she was a
why
friend.
he liked grilled cheese sandwiches.
yeah.
Truman came in, she was gone.
Yeah. She was a terrible cook, but she was a friend of, she was a friend of Eleanor's. Okay, all right.
Allegedly.
We're not going to go further than that.
I'm not delving into that.
We're not going to go off on a tangent on that.
Mm-mm.
All right. So
Richard Nixon.
What about
Nixon, that's just silly.
he was on a strict diet.
Yeah.
He was on a very strict diet.
Got his cheese and
yeah.
fruit.
Ew.
Yeah. He
But that he was also president when like there are all kinds of crazy recipes from that era that included cottage cheese and fruit salads that were gelatin and had mayo in them for some reason. It was wild.
I have a hard time with Jello molds, and if there's fruit in them to begin with, it doesn't work with me.
Yeah. So what did you say about tomatoes this morning?
Oh, yeah. Knowledge is knowing that tomato is a fruit, but wisdom is knowing not to add it to a fruit salad.
There you go.
Yeah.
I said it better this time.
Yeah, you did. You knocked it out of the park that time.
Well, hang on.
Right.
We got somebody
I
in
want
there
to know
who's-
Andrew Jackson's.
Okay.
I mean, that old hickory. I mean, was it
If it's
like
not hickory bacon.
Was it a piece of bark? I mean,
No.
What was it?
It's interesting because it was tenderloin with Jezebel sauce.
Ooh.
Oh.
That makes
But this
sense.
is where it gets a little
Again,
tricky.
you are what you eat.
That makes sense.
But Jezebel sauce
Oh.
didn't come into the lexicon until the 1950s.
Okay.
1950s?
Yeah.
So
Okay.
he might not have called it Jezebel
Right,
sauce, but
It was something.
And
different.
it's an interesting sauce. It's a sweet and savory sauce.
Okay.
Jezebel sauce. It's apple jelly, prepared horseradish, pineapple preserves, dry mustard, and black and crushed red pepper.
Okay.
And it's a nice sauce. And you know what it goes great on? Cream cheese.
It sounds good on cream
Interesting.
cheese.
Yeah.
I can tell you this: daddle jelly with cream cheese on a Ritz.
Absolutely. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
That's
oh yeah.
good.
I mean, it's a nice little appetizer, but I can turn a meal into
our
it.
swamp food appetizer for our swamp food
That is
restaurant.
that definitely makes the swamp food menu.
Yeah.
But
Did you watch this morning show?
no.
Okay,
It's too early in the morning for me. I got to stay up for
we
that.
have
Got
a
it,
new
man.
restaurant for you to open,
Okay.
and it's all swamp food.
Okay.
All right, so we have the menu already set. You can add your Ivy League twist to it
Sure.
because all you Ivy Leaguers are known for your swamp food.
Yes. I don't think there's too many Southern Ivy League schools or too many with swamps.
Yeah,
But
Vanderbilt. That's all we got. That's all we got. It's the Ivy League of the South, Vanderbilt.
And you know what I love about Vanderbilt? Their basketball court, because their court is here and their benches are sunk.
Yeah.
I get a kick out of that.
Well, that way you don't the players don't block the view of the other people.
There you go. All right. But Andrew Jackson also was big on green beans cooked with bacon, and of course, Tennessee whiskey,
Better be.
Okay.
which is one of my favorite songs.
It is a good
All
thing.
right.
I like that song very much.
Just interesting. What do you have for James Buchanan?
James Buchanan was okay.
What Andrew Jackson? I think he called him sissy pants.
Sauerkraut.
Sauerkraut. That was
James Buchanan, sauerkraut.
I'm a fan of
and he didn't have a
sauerkraut.
great diet, but he was big on fermented cabbage, which is now considered a superfood.
Yeah.
And he had gout.
Oh,
James Buchanan.
okay.
did.
All right.
But he would have gotten along very, very well with Warren G. Harding,
What was his?
knockwurst and sauerkraut.
That's
he
the
served-
only way to really eat.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You
knockwurst
need some
is-
kind of sausage. But it was interesting because Warren G. Harding would host poker games amongst his friends.
Mhm.
Far be it from him to be corrupt. But he also served liquor
Mhm.
during the middle of Prohibition at his poker games.
Yeah, Harding. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and he had a child with a woman who was not his wife
Right.
during his presidency.
Yep.
So
And he died in San Francisco.
Was it the Teapot
Dome scandal.
Dome scandal where he hired all his friends for the cabinet? And,
Didn't work well.
yeah. Well, it worked well for them.
Yes.
I heard that she was like a high class call girl
She was.
and she had been sleeping with a lot of guys.
Ooh.
And so paternity, he basically took one for the team in claiming responsibility for paternity because a lot of the guys that she had been sleeping with were married.
I don't think he
And
ever
so
claimed.
that's
him.
what I
Yeah, but wasn't he
that's what I
married?
heard.
Yeah, he was married.
Yeah.
He was married and he was president.
Yeah.
And it was.
That's
You
a
know.
tough one to take for the team if you're the
Yeah,
president.
I'm pretty sure those same poker guys and the Teapot guys probably.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
didn't they eventually do a paternity test on this woman?
I thought they determined
sure.
it was.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think they
Okay.
did a paternity test.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Maybe
But it might be like the tunnel, but I mean, right now the story's better the way we're saying it.
early
Oh,
AI.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Are we talking
Don't
about
let the
Chester
facts-
A. Arthur? Because this is a graphic picture.
Don't let the facts get in the way.
Okay,
good story.
AOC.
A good story.
No,
Yeah,
Harding. I thought they did.
Okay.
I think
Yeah.
he's
Yeah, I think
the
so.
worst. I think he is
Yeah.
the worst president we've
Yeah.
ever had.
Also,
Buchanan's
if you
right
watch-
there with him.
If you watched Boardwalk Empire
Yes.
many
Yes.
years ago,
Yeah.
he was a protagonist in that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. The only guy I saw that actually named his dog after his favorite food was Jimmy Carter.
R.I.P.
You know what his dog's name was? Grits.
Yeah.
His favorite food was grits.
I love a
cheese
grit.
grits.
Yeah.
Yep, cheese grits.
I love cheese grits with daddle on it.
There you go.
I'm very buttery cheese grits.
Yeah.
Are we going to talk about Chester A. Arthur? Because this is wild.
I want to hear Chester A. Arthur.
Okay, let's see what
I'd
we
love
got.
to hear about
I
Chester.
have a very graphic
yeah.
picture. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Barbara Jean. Over your eyes.
Get it off your chest.
Yeah.
Turtle steak.
Yep.
Ew.
And
Soft shell turtle steak.
Right. And because it was so rich, he paired it with macaroni, which I don't quite necessarily understand how macaroni makes. I mean, I always
Is it
think,
just macaroni or macaroni and cheese?
well, yeah, it just said macaroni, which
Okay.
I guess could forgive it. But, I'm starting thinking macaroni and cream sauce or mac and
Yeah.
cheese. That's not making it any less rich for your turtle steak. Well, there were a couple of presidents that were big on squirrel.
Yeah, we do have squirrel soup.
Well, I mean, that's Brunswick stew was originally
Yeah.
made from squirrel. It wasn't made with beef. It was made with squirrel meat.
Yeah.
And it was from Brunswick County, not the city of Brunswick in Georgia.
Okay.
I read that on my walk.
Nice.
One of the
Okay.
things I promised myself when I did the walk
Uh-huh.
is every historic marker,
Mhm.
I always stopped
Stop to read.
and read it. I didn't remember it by like the 18 steps beyond it,
Right.
but that one I remember because I was like, I used to eat squirrel.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if you did your walk and you had you have to have connectivity, but earbuds or something to be able to listen to a podcast while you're
But
walking?
I did. I mean, I could plug it into my phone at that time, but it wasn't like Bluetooth. And I did that for the first 2 days. And I was like, I think I'm missing the world here.
You're focusing on that.
And
not
the
focusing on outside.
only time I'd put those earbuds in is I had downloaded Atlas Shrugged
That's a good way to do it.
on my earbuds, because if I started to get bored, I just, and I'd already read it, but it was like, okay, let me do like the little refresher.
Mhm.
It's a little pamphlet. I don't know
Yeah.
if you've heard of it. It's
I
like
know.
1,300 pages.
It's a quick read.
Quick read, hop in, hop out.
It's light.
It took
Light
me
reading.
6 years the first year as a dyslexic.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's the only thing I really would listen to when I popped them back in. But
Yeah.
you just miss so much. Like you were just out there walking 3 miles an hour. You get to see a lot.
You do.
So, and smell a lot.
We can get to Bobby in a second, but I want to go back to William Henry Harrison for a second.
Okay.
Because he was squirrel stew as opposed to James Garfield, who was squirrel soup. But William Henry Harrison would share his recipe for squirrels.
Easy for you
Squirrel?
to say.
Not easy.
Yeah.
Squirrel soup.
Stew.
Squirrel stew.
Want me to do the clicker?
Thank you very
Okay,
much.
hold on. Lenny, take 2.
Squirrel stew
Yes!
Got it.
Nailed it!
by William Henry Harrison. He would share his recipe and offered it at voter rallies, and he would have them make it for their neighbors so that they would encourage him to vote for him.
Oh, tip a canoe.
Yep. And apparently, occasionally, they had to sneak in some possum to stretch it.
Oh, yeah. Possum's a little greasy.
Mm-hmm. But Bobby was curious about William
Taft.
Howard Taft.
I after he said it, I was like, yeah, the man knew his food. I mean, you don't get that
He
big
was
by not knowing food.
332 pounds.
I thought it was 312, but
Isn't that big for people today?
yeah,
Well,
that's
not
still
if
big
you're
for people today.
Not if you're an NFL lineman, apparently.
Yeah.
These guys are getting up into the 350s. But he would wake up every morning and eat a 12-ounce steak.
Taftwood?
Taft would. And they got cold on it, so he ended up cutting it back down to a 6-ounce steak every day. And his housekeeper said, yeah, he went from a 12-ounce steak to a 6-ounce steak. He hasn't lost any weight.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I'm sure he wasn't much of a walker.
I don't
No.
think it was the steak that was making him
Yeah.
fat.
Yeah. So I think it was the amount of other things.
Yep.
Franklin Pierce liked something I've never heard of.
Fanny
Fanny
daddies.
daddies.
Yeah.
They look like dumplings?
They're crab fritters. Clam
Okay.
fritters.
Clam fritters.
Clam
All
fritters. He
right.
was from New Hampshire, so it was from the Northeast, and it was a clam fritter.
That's interesting because Fanny means something in a different part of the world. So
Mhm.
All right, you flashed up Richard Nixon, the
Mhm.
cottage cheese with the pineapple on
Yeah.
top, but you didn't get the second part of it.
okay.
He would actually squirt a little bit of ketchup on top.
Oh God.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Come
hard.
on, Nick.
Though I'm a
Is
big
that
fan
why
of,
he was slippery
you
neck?
know, black pepper and cottage cheese is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Pick another one, anyone.
Gerald Ford, I liked his. His was pot roast with red cabbage.
Yes.
I mean, I can deal with that. Butter pecan ice cream and German apple pancakes.
apparently Henry Haller, White House chef, said it was pot roast, but it was also pork chops with the red cabbage.
Pork chops and cabbage.
There's a couple of very good. One of them, if you can get an original copy, there's the First Lady's Cookbook, which has been out in many iterations, and it's a great cookbook because they keep releasing it when there's a new First Lady who can cook. But there's also the White House Cookbook, and those are good cookbooks. I had a great old world copy of the First Lady's Cookbook, which was one of the 600 cookbooks I lost in a flood. It was
man,
devastating. Devastating how many cookbooks I lost, how many menus I lost.
Okay, you guys all know I wasn't a huge George W. fan, but I like his menu. Okay, I like his menu for breakfast. Huevos rancheros.
Sure.
All right, love me some of that with throw some dado on.
Spicy eggs.
Love me some of that. All right, and then you do beef tenderloin, grilled cheese sandwiches every Saturday at noon. Grilled cheese sandwiches at the Blevins' house. That's our
emulating FDR.
That's our Saturday lunch.
Good.
And then he also loved his interest. They called it an interesting invention. I don't think he invented this, but
no, but he certainly made it popular.
Cheeseburger pizza.
Yep.
Cheeseburger pizza.
Yeah. So
the White House chef would start with a margarita pizza and put ground beef, bacon, tomato, cheese. I'm trying to remember what else was on it. I just have it as cheeseburger pizza because, what else do you put on a cheeseburger pizza?
So, all right. Other interesting presidents. What about McKinley? Did he have anything cool?
William McKinley had, where are you? Red flannel hash, which is potato and beet cooked together.
All right.
Red flannel
Yeah.
hash.
It's colorful, but not appealing.
Yeah.
I don't see a whole lot of flavor with that.
No, not so much.
All right.
Potatoes and
Followed by Teddy Roosevelt.
Teddy Roosevelt, actually, I liked his menu.
Yep.
I don't know about the turtle soup thing, but he's pigs in a blanket. Love me some pigs in a blanket.
Always. It's not a party without him.
I love me some pigs in a blanket. And that's before the jungle came out.
Ooh.
The DeLand's coming out in you.
Upton Sinclair.
Ooh.
Baby.
Woo!
Yeah.
That's before that. You know how much rat poo he ate? All right.
Nothing slowed him down.
Yeah. No. Fried chicken smothered in white gravy.
Correct.
Oh.
His mother's recipe.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
No, that sounds amazing.
Yep. Cooked in bacon fat. Yeah.
And we said the other day, we were talking about coffee. He drank almost a gallon of coffee a day.
Dude.
It's probably regular.
7 lumps of sugar in that coffee.
Whoa.
Regular and
7
jittery.
lumps of sugar in his coffee. You know how much sugar went in his body?
In the gallon or per cup?
No, in a cup of sugar or cup. It's basically what it was.
sludge.
It was a cup of sugar,
Yeah.
and he drank a gallon of that. That does sound like I can't say anything. It sounds like my grandmother's sweet
He's a
tea.
Big boy anyway.
It's more sweet than it is tea. That's why it's in front.
We're dancing around the king of all presidential foods, by the way. Mr. Ronald Reagan.
The black licorice.
Well, black licorice was his favorite flavor, but the jelly beans and the
I almost brought you guys Jelly Bellies.
the impetus for that was he was trying to quit smoking. So he went to jelly beans instead.
Yeah.
And then he threw a big ass party and had only red, white, and blue jelly beans. It was blueberry, coconut, and cherry.
Yeah. So all right. But he had a sweet tooth for sure.
Yeah.
He had a sweet tooth because not only was that, he liked monkey bread and chocolate cake. And I guess Nancy made some really great fudge brownies.
Okay.
And evidently he would eat a whole tray of fudge brownies at a sitting. Old Dutch.
Old Dutch. There you go.
So,
Well, Dwight David Eisenhower.
okay. I like Ike.
He was a pretty. Apparently, a lot of people did twice.
Yeah.
He was a pretty good cook, and he would make beef stew, a tomato-based beef stew, but beef stew nonetheless. And he shared it to
judgment.
He learned.
Chef judgment coming out strong right there.
You know. And he was.
I know he was a Republican, but you hit on Ike.
Hey,
You hit on Ike. I
it's-
think that's off limits. That's on the list.
I didn't get the list.
That's on the list.
One of these days, I'm going to
Things
get a
you
list
can't
and I'm
do.
going to
You
fall
can't hit
over.
on Ike.
You know what? I just had a great merch idea. We need a T-shirt that's a list of things Lenny can't say. It's just all the
Lenny,
things.
here's your list.
I'll wear it with pride.
Yeah. The bad part is we can say the 7 words.
Yeah.
Right.
We've not hurt the algorithm.
Yeah.
But there's 7 words. Like, that should actually be the new joke. 7 words not to ruin your algorithm.
Yeah, exactly.
But Ike also would share his beef stew recipe with friends and cabinet members and the general public, again, to encourage them to vote for him.
Yeah.
That's why people liked Ike.
Yep, absolutely. That and he was big on Mamie's fudge.
All right.
Mamie made some great fudge, and then she would wash it down with a Manhattan, and Ike wasn't. He was no softy. He was going for straight whiskey.
All right.
Yeah.
Scotch, I'm sorry. Yeah, well, Scotch whiskey. Yeah.
Herbert Hoover's favorite food was surprisingly rich given the time. He liked caramel tomatoes.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. What is
And
that?
and sweet potato pie.
Oh,
yeah.
no. Caramel tomatoes.
Yeah.
Well, also, but Hoover was a 2 martini a day guy until he got called on it, and they said, no, so you should only have 1 martini. He said, okay, I understand
Give
that.
me a bigger glass.
And he got a bigger glass.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yep.
That was
Yep.
we had to change our drinking rules for Mike and I and Mark always count all our drinks.
Mhm.
We had to change our drinking rules that it had to be the amount of shots in that drink
Okay.
because Mark would fill up a Yeti and claim 1, and he drinks Jack Daniels. So, all right, George Herbert Walker Bush.
Broccoli.
Yeah, well, he loved Tabasco.
Yeah.
He loved Tabasco. He put it on pretty much everything. Pork rinds.
Pork rinds.
He put it on eggs. He put it on everything.
Yep.
But his other thing is he would often request eggs, hot dogs, and beef jerky. So, I mean, the Bush guys, I like their diet.
Yeah, they're kind of men of the people.
Yeah.
Have you ever had tahine tossed pork rinds? They're good.
I don't know what that is.
Tahine is,
Oh, is that,
it's like a chili,
yeah,
a lime, chili lime spice.
Okay.
It's delicious. I love it on eggs. But I got the hankering to put it on eggs because of these
Right.
pork rinds that you can get that are tossed in tahine. They're so good.
And I think they came out with a sauce. I'm familiar with it as a powder that you would sprinkle on things.
Yeah.
And now I just saw it an ad for it in a sriracha form, like as
All
a liquidy or a condiment.
It's a fun spice. I
Yep.
like it.
Yep.
All right. So we have time for 2 more, and let's do the last 2. Do you have those?
Donald Trump and Joe Biden?
Yes.
I do.
I mean, I'm assuming Biden's ice cream.
It is.
He
gotta be.
loves ice cream.
What
Yep.
kind of ice cream though?
Haagen-Dazs chocolate chip.
Haagen-Dazs chocolate chip.
Though he has been seen with strawberry and other flavors.
Mhm.
And he's not a drinker. And his other favorite is a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Okay. I like me a good PB&J.
Mhm.
I like a peanut butter and banana sandwich.
Don't make me bring in my fluffernutter again, because I will.
Oh no,
Those are
that
good.
that was awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Those were great. I got a little stuck in my beard for about 3 days,
exactly.
so it was okay. I mean, I just go back to it, and I was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little flashback.
Yeah.
And Donald Trump is McDonald's filet of fish sandwiches.
Filet of fish.
Filet of
Yep.
fish sandwich.
Well,
I really
you
would
know-
have thought quarter pounder.
Well, it's interesting because when the whole thing came out that they kept a portable McDonald's on a flatbed truck in Saudi Arabia in case he had a hankering,
Yeah.
people were saying that his normal order at McDonald's is 2 Big Macs, 2 filet of fish, and a chocolate shake.
All right.
And part of his enjoyment in McDonald's is the fact that because he's a germaphobe and a clean freak, he likes to know where his food is coming from.
I gotcha.
And it's easy enough to see at McDonald's where your food is coming from,
Yeah.
you know?
I can get behind that.
Yeah. So, you know, it comes out of a mystery kitchen.
Yeah, and
Filet of fish.
I had a friend who in college, and he worked at McDonald's in high school. He's from Appleton, Wisconsin, and he would go, and they used to put the numbers up, and that's how long the burgers had sat there.
Mhm.
So he would look at what was there, and that's how he determined his order, so that he didn't get stuck with those things. What I've learned to make sure you get a fresh burger is you ask for a double cheeseburger, Mac style.
Okay.
All right. So you can get a double cheeseburger. You don't get the extra piece of bread in the middle,
Right.
but it's all the same ingredients with the Big Mac stuff on it, with the lettuce and the sauce.
Yeah.
And you get a double cheeseburger Mac style. It's almost $1.50 cheaper than buying a Big Mac.
Wow.
All right.
So, and
I could agree with that. Who needs the extra piece of bread?
And a friend of mine orders their French fries with no salt, and then asks for packets of salt.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Ask for stuff on the side, and you get it freshly made.
Right.
So, but if you order a double cheeseburger Mac style,
okay,
and
if I ever go back to a McDonald's, I might try that.
Yeah, I'm still. Rebecca doesn't do McDonald's at all, but I'm still a McDonald's guy.
Yeah,
I can still scoot in there and get a good hearty breakfast.
I almost busted her story on that because I had taken my kids to McDonald's right before she and I met up one day, and she was like, "Oh, but you had your husband buy it because only boys can buy McDonald's, right?" And I was like,
"That's exactly it."
Totally, that's so confused.
That's exactly it. For Maeve's, no, the only that's
McDonald's is misogynist. They will not sell to women.
That's why only the boys in our house get to eat McDonald's.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
all right.
It is funny that filet of fish was born because of the Catholics, though.
Yeah, which makes perfect sense, though.
Yeah.
You know, hey. Oh, and by the way, and Joe Biden does give up ice cream for Lent.
Interesting.
Yeah.
If he remembers.
All right.
Nowadays, not so much.
Thank you for pinch hitting.
Of course.
Always
fun.
For the director producer, and you as producer director did an amazing job as you always do. We have a great interview tomorrow morning with Commissioner Clay Murphy coming in.
Yep.
If you haven't got a chance to go back and watch the interview with Father Matt, it's probably, I've been doing this for 13 years. It's probably, if not my favorite interview, one of my favorite interviews I've ever done. He just absolutely great storyteller and you get just a good soul. And you'll I think everybody who's watched it has just been like, wow, that was very, very intense. So, and I really appreciate him coming in. Appreciate all you guys out there. Make sure you're supporting our sponsors. And this is Bollocks this evening.
Have a nice weekend. See you on Monday.